Adventure is risk, but that is where the stories come from. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is William James, and I talk about everything to do with branding, brand, and inspiration for you to succeed here on this channel. We do video stuff, we do some photography stuff. That's what's planned in the future. I have a whole mixed bag of skills and things that I would love to share with you guys, and hopefully you find some value that you can use in your own brands, your own little niche of whatever you're doing, or if you're not doing any side work at all, you just enjoy it. So here, the story of Buzzard Roost. We talked about this on my feed on Twitter last week, and I started off by saying that exploring is innate to humans. I think it's just part of us. We want to expand outward. We want to get out of the cramped little town of normalcy and get out there and experience something new that we've never experienced before. My outlet for that was building off-road rigs like the one pictured here. This is a Lexus GX 470. If you're overseas or down under, that would be a Toyota Prado. The little baby brother to the Land Cruiser. It's basically a Forerunner or surf platform with a bigger body, but it was one of my favorite rigs. It was my favorite rig, probably the most well-rounded and most reliable rig I had. I love to do that. That was just one of my hobbies. It's something I enjoyed immensely. 2019, I had the opportunity to go out to a place called Windrock with some people that I had never really met before. I met the one guy like once because I bought some rear shocks for him for, I think, the Lexus. These are new areas, new places, new faces, new experiences. For me to step out and do that, looking back at who I was when I was a kid, is kind of insane because I was always a cautious person. I didn't want to get out. I didn't like to talk to new people. I really didn't like experiencing new things. It just goes to show how much change can happen when you begin to say, you know, I want to take a risk. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today. We spent the day crawling over miles of rocky, rutted, and rough trails, and the night we just spent camping out, eating some burgers, I think, and just having a good time. When I was there, I had a couple experiences I've never had before. I almost flipped my vehicle. Endo like this. My front end went down into this hole with these rocks and almost flipped end over end, which was great. Got it stuck to the point where I had to use a winch to get out. My tires were just too short, but we winched ourselves out and it was cool. It was a really good time while we were there, but on our way back, we're weaving our way through the I-40 corridor, and one of the guys radios over and says, "Hey, I know a place right off the road." So we pull off Harmon Den exit. And coming from Tennessee, you turn right. And it kind of turns into this gravel road and this little low water concrete bridge that if it's raining at all, overflows every time. And we took that, we went through all these winding roads for about 20 minutes. And I'm like, dude, where in the world are we going? And we pull up to this spot. Spray painted tree. Only indication that you are near anything. And you are feet away from one of the most spectacular views that I've ever seen in a place that I've returned to over and over again. We stepped out of our trucks, the dust is flying everywhere. We reached down over the edge, trying not to trip and die on all the roots and the mud. And as the woods opened up, there's a big hole right there, and you're 400 feet up over the Pigeon River, all the way down below, I-40 corridor, the Harmon Den Wilderness, and it's one of the most beautiful sights that I've ever seen in my life. It's nuts. And I instantly fell in love with that place. But how I got there was by stepping into the unknown, something as a young person I would never have done. I found new friends, I found new trails, new challenges, new dangers. As I said, I almost flipped and died. But since then, I've returned to that road and I found all the connecting roads, which there's like hundreds of them. And I've spent hours out there with my family, with some friends. We went camping out there, got stuck in Cataloochee, which is a whole different story. Maybe I'll put that up here one day. And it's just a good time. And I've been out there. That's a place I go to if I want to take my girls out somewhere just quick. We drive about an hour west and there we are. But it all opened up with me taking a risk to meet some people that I never knew, go to a place I'd never been, and experience things I never experienced before. There was risk, there's fear, but because I was willing to do that, I have things that I still enjoy to this day that were results of that period of time. And the point is that risk is required for your life to have adventure. Adventure, as I always like to say, is risk. There's no way around that. That's what venture means. It means to have risk involved. Adventure is risk, but that is where the stories come from. It's like, I want to be someone who has stories to tell when he's old. But it really comes down to your willingness to take a risk, to step out into a place you've never been before with the anticipation that this is going to be something that you will enjoy the rest of your life. It may not be. It may, not every single risk you ever take is going to work out that way. But this one here changed my life. But it all started with risk. Every single good thing that I've ever done in my life has had risk to it. Getting married to my wife, having my girls, moving to North Carolina when I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do when I got here, taking this trip. There's 100 things I could go back to that involve risk taking. Some of them calculated, some of them I couldn't figure out exactly what the risk would be, so I just jumped and did it. I've enjoyed the fruits of those risks today continually. I've been married to my wife 10.5 years. My daughter's, the oldest daughter's 8. We have another one on the way. We'll have 5 girls, which is kind of crazy. But all of this started, as I said, with me learning how to take risks and not listen to fear. And I've talked about that a lot on this channel because it is the main thing that I dealt with. I've dealt with fear, I've dealt with anxiety, I've dealt with depression. That's, I guess, my biological nature probably, but I have overcome those things. And as I overcame them incrementally, I saw exponential growth in my life. And so it doesn't have to be a huge risk you need to take today. It could be something tiny, it could be something small. But your choices to take incremental risks will actually result in exponential growth. It's not equal. If you're somebody who is scared of risk, you can take a small thing, a small risk, and it will provide you with the momentum to take a bigger risk next time. And that kind of growth is exponential. It just continues to expound, to multiply. And that's all you gotta do. Strike out, take it, and do it. That's what I got today. I know it's not fancy. I'm not the greatest YouTuber in the world, but I do want to encourage you guys to begin to reach out of the place you're comfortable. Find new experiences, explore your potential, and conquer the wilderness that is out there. There is something for you to do that you've never done before, and that's what the wilderness is. It's an unknown place of untapped raw potential, and that's where I'm going, and I want you to come along with me. Love you guys. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that'd be the best place, because that's where most of this stuff comes from. I'm just really reading tweets that I put out through the week that performed well, that seemed to hit there. So you can follow me there at William_3_James. And you can find most of my content there. And if you need help with branding, brand, identity, or even philosophy when it comes to what those things even mean, let me know. And I'll be glad to help you out. Love you guys. We'll see you later.